क्या हो गया शुरू? शुरू हो गया क्या? गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय धनभक्ताय नमो नमः। वंदे हम श्री गुरु श्री तपतकमलं श्री गुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादं सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च। So we are reading from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu from Rupa Goswami. So Srila Prabhupada has given the essence of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in his Nectar of Devotion. And here, so we have also the, in this book, translated by Swami, Prabhupada's disciple. So the verses are there, and then the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. So, Eastern section, the first section, second wave, means second chapter, Sadhana Bhakti. So, text number 187. Dityam yatha naradiye. This is from Narada Purana. This is in regards to Dasyam. So, there has been explained two kinds of servants are there. Dasyam. So the first one was described in previous verses, performing prescribed duties according to one's nature, offered to the Lord, becomes Bhagavad Dharma. So that is one type of dasya. So we know we are servants of Krishna, and so we engage in devotional service according to prescribed duty, means according to Varna Ashrama also. And even then it has been explained according to Varna Ashram, one is one's activity, either as a Brahmana or a Kshatriya. So that is one time of service as a servant, and then offering one's actions such as japa, meditation, and deity worship. So one may be a Brahmana, then is fully dedicated to Brahminical activities, but even the Kshatriya and Vaishyas, they may be engaged in japa, like we are all performing japa. And we're trying to remember Krishna. And even the Grihastas, so they may be a Vaishya and Kshatriya, according to the occupation. They may also engage in deity worship, to some extent. Maybe a businessman may be there, so he's doing his business, but morning and the evening he's doing his japa, he's doing deity worship. So both of them is considered to be service in the mood of dasya, as a servant of the Lord. So here the second type is mentioned. Iha yasya haredasya karamana manasagira nikila shrapyavasta. So jivan mukta sauchate. This is a famous verse. Prabhupada many times mentioned that verse from Naradiya Purana. He who has the desire to serve the Lord with actions, mind and words in this world is called the liberated jiva in all circumstances. So here again the word dasya is there, dasyam. So one who is fully absorbed in the devotional service of the Lord with body, mind and words, then he is considered to be jivan mukta. He is considered to be a liberated person. Jiva Goswami is commenting, the author indicates his own opinion with a glorification of this type of dasyam. Iha dasya here means having desire for servitude. One should have a desire, I am your servant. So that it is also mentioned elsewhere in the scriptures. So if one is calling out to the Lord, I'm your servant, or even more so, I'm yours, then the Lord is very much captivated by the devotee. And it is mentioned that he is then taking care of the devotee. And the devotee will be liberated. So therefore here in this verse also it is mentioned such a person is known as Jivan Mukta, a liberated jiva. Ata Sakyam. So after Dasya, Sakyam is explained. So Dasya is servitorship. I am the servant of the Lord. Sakya, Ata Sakyam. Vishwasamitra Virtishcha Sakyam Dividam Iritam. Friendship. There are two types of Sakyam. Trust and being friendly. Jiva Goswami is commenting. The first type is the opinion of others, and the second is the opinion of the author. So, mitra here means friendship in general, rather than the sakya sthai bhav that appears only in bhav and prem. Vishwasa mitra vitishta sakyam dividam iritam. So mitra. So mitra means friendship, my friend. So that is in general. So we understand that Krishna is our Lord, but at the same time Krishna is like our best friend. Like Krishna is also saying, Bhuktang yet tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvbhutanam gyatva mam shanti mirichati. So from 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 29th verse. So we should understand that Krishna is the enjoyer, Bhuktaram, Yagya Tapasam, and beneficiary of all yagas we may do, or austerities we may do. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram is the Lord of all the worlds. Suridam Sarvbhutanam is the friend of all living entities. So Krishna is the Lord of all living entities, but he has so much love for the living entities because they are his part and parcels. They are his servants. At the same time, his love is such that everyone is dear to him, and therefore the Lord is like the best friend for the jiva. So that is in a general term. So Krishna is our Lord, but at the same time is our best friend. Like in this world, sometimes we may have friendship, but then sometimes the friendship may be broken because the friend said something, and then we are upset, and the friendship is broken. But with Krishna, Krishna is always with us. And even if we turn away from Krishna, Krishna is still there and is waiting for us to go back to him. So he's always there as a friend. You need something, and then we need something, Krishna is there to help us. So we are in distress. We call out to Krishna. Krishna is there. Don't worry, everything will be fine. So therefore it is mentioned Krishna is the best friend. And he's always there. The whole life. Even next life and next life. So therefore is considered the best friend of the jivas. So that is a general term. So for the practicing devotees, sadhakas, servants of Krishna, as practicing devotee. At the same time, the other type of friendship which is there, so that is in, and that is also described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the second type, which is the sthai bhav in Krishna Lila, the permanent relationship of the friends of Krishna in Braj, like Sudam, Sridam, Madhumangal, Subal. So that is the permanent relationship with Krishna. Krishna is the best friend. Whereas in this world, so it is just a general way that we see that Krishna is our best friend. But when we realize, maybe we see, oh, Krishna, so he may be like my son. Vatsalya Bhav may be there. Or we are the servant. Or Krishna is our beloved. So that is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Oh Bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrajaukasam, Yan Mitram Paramananda Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. How greatly fortunate Ananda Maharaj, the cowman, and all the other inhabitants of Brajmumi. There is no limit to their great good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahman, has become their friend. Mitram, here also Mitra is mentioned. So to identify with such a position of friendship is called Sakyam. But here again you can see, so Nanda Maharaj is there and the coward man. So that means the elderly persons of Nanda Baba's age, Nanda Maharaj's age. So Krishna is the source of everything, but in the past time he is a father. But he's the source of everything. He's the source of the father also. He's the source of Nanda Baba. He's the source of everything. So when in the past time Nanda Baba is the father of Krishna. But still, so the friendship feeling is there. So that is expressed in this verse. And actually, in the relationship in Braj also, so those who have parental affection, Maria Shodananda Baba, so they also have the feeling that Krishna is like a best friend. And but then also Dasyam is there. They feel that we have to serve Krishna. They're there to serve Krishna. Servitorship. But then, so specifically their mood is sthai bhav, the permanent ecstasy is that Krishna is my son. So, in the relationship, the higher it is, then the lower relationship, so to say, they are included in the higher. In Sakyam, in friendship, Dasyam is included, servitorship is included. In Vatsalya Bhav, in parental affection, friendship and servitude is also included. And in the Gopi Bhav, the Bhav of the Gopis, the conjugal relationship, Vatsalya, Sakya and Dasyam are also included. And that actually we can even see in the material world, which is a perfected reflection of the spiritual world. Even there in the relationship, so man and woman, so the conjugal relationship is there. At the same time, So in both, the husband and wife, sometimes they will have a kind of like parental feeling towards each other, like the husband is there to protect the woman, the wife, and then of course later on they will have children, and then the parental affection will be real there. But even so, in the relationship between each other, so the husband has a feeling of, I have to protect my wife and I have to give her whatever she needs, and is giving also. And then it is also natural for the woman to have this parental affection, to be a mother, and then the children will be there, but then even she will also have this feeling that I have to take care of my husband, and then she will also so speak sometimes in this way and act in this way, that the father, the husband is just like her child. So sometimes it is seen, so in a slight way. But here also the permanent or the major relationship is there of husband and wife, of beloved, lover and beloved. And then friendship. So Krishna and the gopis, that this friendship feeling is there. They're like best friends. And even as householders, husband and wife, they're like best friends. So a normal relationship. And then dasyam. The wife is serving the husband, and the husband has to serve the wife. Right? Correct? Yeah? Your husband and wife? Yes? So that is there. So the husband is not only the husband and the boss, and the wife has to do whatever he says, but sometimes the husband has to do what the wife is saying. Right? Yeah? That's the situation. So Krishna is in the center, especially for devotees, and it is wonderful. But even in the material world, if they are not Krishna conscious, Krishna is not in the husband, it is just natural. His feelings are there in a normal relationship. So, yes, and so all these things actually very nicely explained in the Vedic literatures. And so the literatures of the Goswamis, so especially we are followers of Rupa Goswami, so there all the subtleties are explained very nicely. And so then we can, by the mercy of Rupa Goswami, so we can learn all these things, and then we can hear and we can learn and understand, and then we can perform our devotional service better. So with the proper understanding. And so therefore, Rupa Goswami has given very detailed descriptions of the different relationships with Krishna. But here it is in sadhana bhakti. So this chapter here is about sadhana bhakti. So that is already there in sadhana bhakti, that dasyam, the feeling that we are a servant, and sakyam, the feeling that Krishna is our friend, the best friend. And whereas then later on, when we come more advanced in spiritual understanding and purified in consciousness, one is on the spiritual platform, and that the natural relationship with Krishna will be revealed. And then that has been then further explained also. The characteristic, the symptoms of one who is in Dasya Bhav, one who is Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, and Madhurya Bhav. And then many examples have been given also for proper understanding. So therefore we have to study these books, especially Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. That is very helpful for us to advance and to be fixed in the proper understanding. And then the exchange with Krishna will be there. So here, Sadhana Bhakti is explained, and just like we have Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Parasevanam, Achanam, Vandanam, and then comes Dasyam. So we should serve in the mood, I am the servant of Krishna, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. That is the mood. That is known as Sambandhigam. Krishna is the Lord, I am the servant of the Lord. And then we perform devotional service, whatever it may be. So Dasyam. And that is known as Vaidhi Bhakti. Prabhupada has explained also. So we follow rules and regulations. We are the servant of Krishna. And then the other two, Sakyam Atmani Vedanam. So Sakyam, the friendship, when we understand that Krishna is our best friend. And when we understand this, then so the relationship becomes more intimate. First, when you understand Krishna is God, we are the servant, own reverence is there, formal. Okay, Krishna is God and I'm the servant of God. Eternal relationship is there. But there's some own reverence there, which is natural in the beginning. But then later on, so when the Sakyam is there, then just like best friends. So between best friends, there's no own reverence. So in the beginning, still we understand Krishna is the Lord, but because of purified consciousness and understanding that Krishna is the best friend, then the own reverence will be much less. It's like friends, they embrace each other. So, but in own reverence, you cannot embrace Krishna. Like, there's a book by Sanatana Goswami, Rasamrita, there it is explained about one devotee, Gop Kumar. He went to Vaikuntha, to Narayan, but he belonged to Braj actually. So he wanted to embrace Narayan. And all the servants of Vishnu, no, he's God, we cannot embrace him. Not possible. And then he was a kind of, because he had a friendship with Krishna actually by his nature, he was disappointed. And then Vishnu, of course, he was smiling and he was saying, don't worry, your desire will be fulfilled. So in Vaikuntha, nobody is embracing Vishnu or Narayan, only Lakshmi. But the servants, they cannot. But in Golok, they're the friends, they embrace Krishna. And they even don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, by Krishna's will and desire. Because then he can release better and have this strong relationship. Krishna is my friend. And embracing Krishna, Krishna is embracing them. So even as practicing devotee, so we can have this feeling. Of course, again, if one is in Vaikuntha Bhav, he will not have this feeling much. He may also understand Vishnu is my best friend, but he is not daring to think that I can embrace Vishnu. Also in Vaikuntha, so the Lord is there, and there's a relationship there, very friendly, and they also understand Vishnu is like a friend, but because of the own reverence, they cannot embrace. They don't dare to think of embracing Vishnu. Not possible. But then in the Braj Bhav, so the sadhakas who are aiming to go to Braj, so they can feel this Sakyam much more. That Krishna is my best friend. And then, so even as practicing devotee, Krishna is the Lord. We know in the temple, Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram. But because we are practicing, we become purifying consciousness, then we feel Krishna is the best friend. He is the Lord, but still he is my best friend. So that is much more sweet and wonderful. And then if one is fully absorbed in the transcendental plane, on the spiritual platform, forgetting the body, then the friendship becomes complete. Then one will forget Krishna is my friend, that Krishna is the Lord. One will simply think Krishna is my friend, and one will forget that Krishna is Lord, Bhagavan. So then one can attain perfection. So for those who have friendship. So that is actually the Sakya Sthai Bhav, the permanent bhav, permanent ecstasy of the friends. Krishna is my friend. And they joke with Krishna. One, Sridham, very close friend of Krishna in Braj, the elder brother of Radharani, sometimes joking with Krishna. Hey Krishna, who you think you are? Huh? You think you're the strongest? I am more strong than you, I will show you. And then he's wrestling with Krishna. And because of his love, so Krishna, who is Ajit, is unconquerable and is the strongest. Sarashwarya Bhagavan. But because of the love of Sridham, so they're wrestling together and Krishna, okay. So, he's getting defeated because of the love of Sridham. He's defeated. Wrestling and then falling on the ground, and Sridham is on top. Oh, I defeated Krishna, I am stronger. So like that. So that is in Braj Bhav. But still Krishna is Bhagavan. But they don't know the Brijavasis. And Krishna is forgetting also. He's Sarvagya, he knows everything, but he's Mugdha. But he becomes bewildered by his own potency. So the pastimes can become complete. Then the friendship is complete. He still, if he's remembering I am Bhagavan, then it is not complete. So therefore he becomes bewildered. For time being, for little time, but he's still Bhagavan. Like Mother Yashoda, trying to bind Krishna. Krishna is crying. And he's forgetting that he's the Supreme Lord. Tears are coming. Oh, Mother is coming with a stick. He's afraid of the stick of Maria Yashoda. And then she's trying to bind Krishna. But then Krishna, well, I'm Bhagavan. And then she cannot bind him because he's Bhagavan. Sarvagya, he knows everything, all powerful. And then she can bind Krishna because of her endeavor. So she could not, because Krishna wants to test her. But then she's almost crying and sweating, and then she can bind Krishna, who is unconquerable, but is conquered by the love of his devotees. Okay, she's binding Krishna and is there, bound to the wooden mortar, and then she goes back outside the house, she goes back to do her duties. And then Krishna is pulling that mortar and going between two trees, Yamal-Arjun trees, huge trees. Very difficult that they break. Even if there's a storm, small trees that can fall, but these Yamal-Arjun trees, very difficult. But he goes there in between, and small friends of Krishna, they are those who are smaller. And Krishna is pulling, and they fall over. And Nalakuvera and Manigriva, who were cursed to become trees, they become liberated. And then they hear the sound. The Brijabasis, Nanda Baba, Yashoda, hoi, hoi, what is this sound? And they come out, they saw these two trees fell down. And they go there, how this is happening? We didn't hear any storm or something, how this fell? And the small boys, they were saying, small boys, Krishna pulled the mortar and the trees fell over. And they were saying, how this is possible? What are you talking? But it was true, but they didn't believe. Anyhow, somehow they fell, but Krishna is saved. Nanda Baba is opening the knot. And then is putting Krishna on the lap. And Krishna again is forgetting he is the Supreme Lord. He pulled the trees and they fell over. and they were offering prayers, Nalukuvera Manugriv. But then again his mukta is bewildered when Nanda Baba comes, because he has parental love, opening the knot and putting him on the lap. Hare Krishna, who has done this? Who has bound you to the mortal? Who has done this? Yashoda Ma. Oh, she has done this? Why? And then he's saying also, Krishna is saying, I don't want to see my mother anymore. She has bound me, and he's crying and crying. And then Nanda Baba is calling Yashoda, come here. Yashoda is coming. And she's seeing Krishna is crying. What have you done to little Krishna? You bound him to this mortar, and look now, he's crying. And he's saying he doesn't want to see you anymore. And then of course Maria Yashoda, when she's hearing this, then she's also crying. Oh, he doesn't want to see me anymore. And she's crying, and then Krishna is crying, and Nanda Baba is also almost crying. But then, because Krishna is very kind and merciful, he comes down, and then he's going to Maria Yashoda, running towards her, and she's taking him on the lap, and then she's telling him, I will never do this anymore, I will never do this anymore. And she's breastfeeding Krishna. And then Krishna again is happy, and Yashoda is happy, and Nanda Baba is happy. So these are the wonderful pastimes of Krishna in Braj. So when the intimate relationship is there, and they do not know that Krishna is the Lord, and Krishna is, half of the time he's forgetting that he's the Lord. Same with the gopis, when Krishna is with the gopis. So he's forgetting that he's the Lord. And the wonderful relationship is there with Radhani and the other gopis. So by actually, it is mentioned also by Prabhupada, and of course in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Prabhupada is mentioning in the 10th canto in regards to this Damodar Leela, that if one wants to develop this friendship relationship with Krishna, which is natural, but we have to hear about this. So we should hear about or read about the pastime of Maria Yashoda. Prabhupada is writing how she's serving Krishna, which mood she has in serving Krishna. So we should study, and then the mood will come in our heart. So when we have some friendship feeling towards Krishna, then we hear about the friends of Krishna. When the conjugal feeling is there towards Krishna, then we hear about the gopis and their mood and their service to Krishna in loving exchange. So that is there to be cultivated ultimately. But first we know we are the servants of Krishna and we perform our devotional service, but then the mood should be there, which are the mood of the Brajbasis. So we should hear, we should study and contemplate, and then we can adopt that mood. That mood will come in our heart, and then that is the spontaneous platform, and then we can be fully surrendered to Krishna in purified consciousness, and then the loving exchange will be there. And so that is the transcendental plane. So we have to ultimately attain that plane. We are not this body, we are spirit souls. So we have to come to this spiritual platform, slowly but surely. So we stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So end of Kartik is there. So it's always wonderful to do an extra endeavor during the month of Kartik. And then there's reciprocation there also, and purification, and more blessings are there, and so then we should try to continue with that. And then till next year, and then again we can do the extra endeavor. But this next year, in between, the Purushottam Mass is there, which is a special month also. And during that month we should also try to do more chanting, or chanting Ashtakams, or hear more about Krishna, so that we may be able to get more purified and get some special mercy and be more absorbed for 1 month. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, it is time. Okay.